Hey everyone, and welcome back to another One Piece Bounty Rush video. My name is D-Free. Here today, we'll be taking a look at the upcoming, well, they're now alive in the game, the new Bride Nami alongside the Perona as well. So obviously we'll be doing summons for that, the Perona unit, so stay tuned for that. So Nami. Nami is another Cola unit. So the problem with Cola is they need to make it acquirable in-game, right? You can't get any Cola without having 6-star units. Like if you see, I pretty much have all these, especially these fodder units that, I mean, some people could use or whatever, but the 2-star natural units, I have them all 6-star, and that's the only way to get Cola. So obviously you basically have to whale out in the game in order to get Cola, and you need a ton of Cola even to max these units in the first place. Like, you have to, for one, have the units maxed out, but the other units to get the Cola, but then when you get the Cola, you have to exchange a ton of Cola to get the frags to be able to max these units. Like, in long story short, it's not a great system. Like, it's hard to max these units. You need 500 Cola to get her at 4-star, which is just level 60. It's not going to be competitive. You can get 5-star plus is competitive for the most part in the top ranks. You don't need to be level 100 despite there being others. You'll be fine. But depending on your medal setup anyway. But if you want her to get 5-star, 6-star, you need to exchange more. I still am working on Crocodile. I still have a lot to exchange. He's barely like level 86, which is actually a really high level. It's competitive enough. But like, yeah, it takes a long time. So they need to make it to where it's easier to exchange. And I get it from the respect of it encourages more spending, and also it's rewarding for players that spend more. Like, every game has this system where whenever you max out a unit and you still get the dupes, well, what happens, right? So if you play other gacha games like Dokkan, for example, you can use those for the dupes that you get for either super attack or boosting the character's soul boost area. After that, what happens then? They just probably turn into exchange or I don't know, unlikely scenario, I guess, selling. Like, there's ways to deal with those dupes and add value to them. Legends, for example, you have, when they get maxed out anyway, they turn into Z medals, which can be used for, the items aren't great, but you can use them for pretty much just equips and stuff. Every game has a system, right? Pokemon Masters, for the last example, when you finish getting enough copies of dupes of that character, they turn into power-ups for other characters. So this game is doing the same thing. So I get it from that regard of wanting to reward players, but still, it's not good. Nobody likes it. You're hearing this from a whale. I don't like this. It's not fun, right? Cyclone Tempo. Skill 1. Wow, okay. A mid-range attack, area attack, excuse me, with a knockback effect. So, nullify stagger for a set period of time. Skill attack is 566, has a knockback, and 22-second cooldown. Oh my god. That's just enough damage to be respectable as an attacker. That's a lot of damage. The cooldown is short as heck. You can run skill 1 cooldown and spam the heck out of this. And it's an area of effect attack. It's not long range or anything like that, but it's mid range, which is good enough. This is going to be really problematic if you run into this unit. In the one game you run into this unit out of like the hundreds you play, I don't know. A mid range area attack again, by the way, with a chance to shock enemies. So this is another area of effect attack. She is going to be crowd control. She is really good at crowd control. Acquires speed debuff at level 5. Skill attack 754. Activation probability for the shock effect is 100%. Shock lasts for 5 seconds, and you take 100 damage per second as well. So the speed debuff is 10% speed down, and then also that lasts for 20 seconds. Cooldown on this is 59 seconds. Skill attack is 754. That's more in line with more of the attacks that a lot of these units use. This is pretty much going to be like a one-shot move with an attack build. Like, this is pretty much a one-shot move. And it has shock, so in case it doesn't do it, you take another 500 damage, and you're slowed down, so you can't run away, really. Yeah, that's really powerful, man. The cooldown is short, or long, excuse me, to the point where you'll only get a few in a game. You'll only get that like 3 times in a whole match, unless you run skill 2 cooldown. Unless she has other traits that do it, but still. When receiving damage from an enemy, 3% chance to inflict stun for a short period of time. Oh, wow. She does a lot of shocks. Okay. One in the area around your captured treasure. Increased damage dealt from projectile combos by 40%. This is new, right? Wow. So she'll do 40% bonus damage because I'm assuming her regular attacks are projectile. Yep, they're going to be projectile. Okay. When dealing damage to an enemy, 5% chance to inflict shock. Oh my god. If you have her on a team with Big Mom, not you as a player, but somebody else on your team has a Big Mom who can benefit from doing bonus damage to shocked enemies, like, this is going to be nuts. Wait, hold on. She has more traits here. When dodging, 100% chance to boost speed by 10%. Oh, wow. This effectively makes her like a pseudo runner. She'll be able to run away. But she dodges. And if she gets a perfect dodge, oh my god. When dealing damage to an enemy inflicted with shock, recover 15% HP. Dealing damage in general and they're shocked? She can... What is this unit, bro? What did they do? Increase crit damage by 10% is nuts, by the way. That's nuts, and it's also something that's in these characters' boosts areas. I think that's literally from the boost trait, actually. I think every character will have that. What in the world? That unit is impressive on paper. Hello, let me look at this Perona. So Perona is interesting because she has a new status ailment that we'll talk about in a moment. So she was the first character that has it. I believe Usops, though, for the record, are characters that can avoid it. But she's going to be one of the most problematic units to run into in PvP as well. A long-range area attack with a chance to inflict a negative effect. So skill attack is 546. Negative activation probability is 100%. And the effect time is 10 seconds. Cooldown is 27 seconds. She's a runner that has a very potent attack skill. You run skill 1 cooldown, no questions asked. What is negative? Negative means you can't do anything but move and dodge. That's it. You can't use any skills. You're stuck. No normal attacks either. You can't do anything but move and dodge for 10 seconds. I had this cost me a match. All I had to do was hit this guy off my treasure, but I was afflicted with that status, and I couldn't do anything in time to knock the guy off the treasure. And we literally went from 3-2 and lost the match. Yeah, that's this. And then in the middle of the game, you can imagine being in a congested area because this is also an area attack. And her hitting multiple enemies, long-range attack. I mean, I'm certain it can probably hit multiple enemies. Her hitting maybe multiple enemies, or maybe even just you, and you're just stuck. Right? You can't fight back. It's crazy. Special Hollow. Set special hollows at close range. So it kind of puts these bubble guys out there, and they just kind of chill right there. If an enemy touches the special hollow, it deals damage with a knockback effect. So similar to Usopp, 2 years later, Usopp's skill. It works a little differently, but similar concept. The special hollows are removed after a certain period of time or when touched. Nullify stagger for a set period of time. They take 728 skill attack damage. Knockback effect and cooldown is 35 seconds. Okay. That'll definitely help her run away. When receiving damage from an enemy, 100% chance to reduce the cooldown time of skill 2 by 5 seconds. Why? Why? Or 5%, excuse me. Why? Your team has more treasure secured. Boost the cooldown rate of skill 1 by 50%. Oh, and she's a runner, so it works perfectly. Okay. When using skill 1, boost speed by 10%. For 20 seconds. It doesn't stack. Okay, cool. When your strength is more than 80%, boost capture speed. Oh yeah, she's nuts. This is looking like an S+ unit. When your strength is more than 100%, resist stagger effect. Is more than 100%? That's interesting English, considering you can't be more than 100%. But they're saying when you have max HP, resist stagger. It's like a one-time thing, pretty much. But yeah, this is an S+ unit, definitely. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's pretty good. She's gonna be really good and really like. If I'm being honest, I think this skill 1 just makes her alone, just because of how that works, and her being the only character in the game that can do it. I think alone that makes her literally top tier material. I need to see the Usopp. Where is the Usopp at? I heard that Usopp characters have it. It might just be the other Usopp. Yeah, nullify negative. Okay. So this is similar to Entrance, where it's really good versus other characters, but there are going to be characters that are not affected, like Luffy characters with Entrance, for example. So Usopp, I'm assuming every version of Usopp, because I've actually been seeing the 2-star Usopp again, and he used to be one of the best characters in the game before he got nerfed. I've been seeing him again, so I'm guessing every version of Usopp will have this, and effectively, that makes every version of Usopp just a little bit better. I'm getting a spam call here. Yeah, that effectively that makes, I don't know whose number that is. It's not anybody I care about, so I'm cutting it out. That just makes every version of Usopp, though, just long story short, a little bit better. So, like I said, though, I will be doing summons here for Perona. Definitely have to get her. It looks like they changed a little bit of the layout, too. The step-up button is glowing and stuff like that. Definitely have to get her. Here's a look at her skills. The negative hollow. Oh, wow. That looks like it has a wide area. Like, the attack seems kind of wide. It reminds me of the Bikini Boa's Pistol Kiss or whatever it's called. For lack of a better, I don't know those names, man. Yeah, it looks kind of wide. It looks like you might be able to get out of that, but it also looks like it could potentially hit multiple people. So yeah, that could be pretty bad. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe if you are new for more content, and I'll catch all of you in the next one.